Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. We're looking at the Bitcoin US dollar index with a bunch of boxes all over the chart. And we're here to talk about September, as I've heard a few other people trying to tell us, hey, August, September, they're down months. We're just going to go down, down, down. There's nothing to be seen here, sideways and down. Don't even bother coming to the space. And um they're all just trying to paint a narrative. And what kind of analysis is that? I really hate the analysis where they're like looking at a calendar and saying, oh, these days are bad days, or this month is a bad month, whatever. And I won't get into that any further. So they're either trying to paint a narrative, or they're too lazy and stupid to do any sort of real analysis. So let's get into really looking at September's with the first one. And we are looking at September 22 last year. As you can see, we had a lot of movement in September, and I measured all this previously. For the whole month from start to finish, we did go down 3%. But in that in the month of September, there were gains to be made of 23% and 12%. So two times you could have made big gains last September, just last year, trading in the month of September. If you bought here and sold up here. You know what? I'll turn my cursor into something else. There we go. So if you bought down here and sold up here, you would have made 23%. Again, bought down here, sold up here, made another 12% in September. Now, I'm not saying that that's something that's easy to do, but this is very tradable, and should be paying attention to a 23% move just last year. I'm not talking about years ago when Bitcoin had huge volatility. This was just a year ago. Okay, let's go back to the next one. You can see we also trading in a big range. And where's my numbers? There they are. So overall, we went down 7% in September of 21. But had we measured one more day over here, now my box is on August 31st and October 1st, so that all the candles in September are clearly shown. But there's one more candle right there. See that big green candle right there? If we had measured one more day, we would have been up 2, not down 7. I mean, it's not a whole heck of a lot. And then again, I'm going to move this box down here. Oh, let's do it so far up. And then again, we saw gains of 14% and 13%. If you were trading in here, bought here, sold up there, you would have seen a gain of 14%. Again, bought here, sold up here, 13%. So we had a lot of choppy movement in the month. Overall, down 7. But then again, if you just measured one more day out, up 2. That was September 2021. Excuse me. Um, and I am going to the gastroenterologist to get an endoscopy in just a couple weeks. See why I have all this congestion. As you know, just in case you were wondering. Um, September 2020, down 7 overall. And this one doesn't look too spectacular. However, there was a big dump in the beginning of the month, but then upwards from there, pretty much. Let's just measure that. I don't have my cursor on, but from there to there. Yeah, we had a big dump in the beginning and then up 8% from there. And if you were trading, okay, stop it. If you were trading in here and bought here and sold up here, you would have had a gain of 14%. And that was just 3 years ago. Let's go to the next September. Down 13%. This one does not look good. And again, we just actually in the beginning of the month, look at, well, okay, I did mark this. So you would have had a gain of 8% here, and then kind of went sideways, and then we dumped down. So let's just putting things in perspective here. That was September of 2019. September of 2018, we ended up overall down 6%, and there was a gain in there of 9%. Now, I didn't start measuring multiple gains until I realized that, hey, there were some significant multiple gains within these Septembers. But as you can see here, you could have made a couple smaller gains here. I think I measured from this bottom to this top for the gain of 9%, but you could have sold there, bought here and sold there again, and even bought here and sold here again. If you're trading this, you could have, had several gains of plus 5% within that month. And then again, this one, I'm looking at it again, there was a big dump initially, and then kind of, it would have been, if you measured from here to there, that would have been a positive. This September, what September is this? September 2017. We ended up down 8% overall. But look at this. So we ended up down 8% overall. But for the next few months after that, we're on a daily chart here. So for the next 2.5 months after that, we were up almost 400%. So let's just keep everything in perspective, people. Down 8, and within this month, you could have made a gain if you bought here and sold at the end of the month. You would have had a gain of 46%. Or you could have bought here, sold there, bought here, sold there for a gain of 37% and a gain of 23%. September is not a boring month, folks. Contrary to what a lot of other influencers out there. Yeah, influencers. Because they're not really analysis. If they were analysis, they'd be analyzing, right? So they just want to paint a narrative or just talk. They just want to talk about bullshit. Here we go. This one is up. We have up September, up 6%. And there was a gain to be made of 11% here. And really, that's about it. So we had a nice gain of 11% and kind of downward. But again, kind of downward. But what happened in the months afterwards here? Again, in the next 3 months afterwards, we were up 90%. So we're trading about 26 now. That would be about $50,000 in 3 months. And that other one, that That other one we looked with the 400% gain would be up like over $100,000 by the end of the year. So, good things to come. Here is September 2015. Have we gone back that far already? Up 2%. And there was a gain to be made from the buying here and selling there of 8%. But then again, I didn't measure all the ups and downs within this month. You can see that there was another one here, another one there, and another one there. If you're trading. And once again, things that people are not pointing out. The next month, just 1 month, after we went up over 100% in 2015. Okay, nobody cares. Malwarebytes. And now we have a September from 2014. We went down 19%. I think this is the worst one, huh? If I can remember correctly. I can't always remember. But there was a gain to be made in September of 17% if you bought here and sold here sometime in the middle of the month. And then even again here at the end of the month. I didn't measure that. But there you have it. Here, let's go back to this guy. There we are. And in September 2013, we were up 0.6% for the month. And there was a gain to be made of 20% in there. Come on. If you bought here and sold there, because we dumped in the beginning of the month and we went right back up. Then we dumped again and went up again. I didn't measure that one, so could have made 20% and another 12% there or something. Do we have any more Septembers? September 2012, is that the last one? Oh, no, there's one more after that. September 2012 was up. We had another up to September and up big time, 22%. And not only were we up 22%, but there was a gain of 30% to be made there. And then you could have sold and bought again here. And so on and so forth. Now, I'm seeing that after a lot of these Septembers, saw some nice, of course, this is back in, this is quite a bit after September here. So, okay. Next September, here we are. Oh, this is a bad one, down 37% in September of 2011. What was the price? Went down from about $6.90 to, I'm sorry, do I have that right? No. Down from about $8.30 to around $5. Wouldn't that be nice? $5 Bitcoin. Well, not right now, it wouldn't be nice. Down 37%. However, there were gains in that month to be made of 77%. And again, 52%. If you bought here, sold there, bought here, sold there. Huge gains to be made. Very volatile back here in September of 2011. And the first September on this chart anyway. I don't know what this is really back here. The 1st of September was basically even, very, very flat. He thought price action now is boring. It was pretty boring in September of 2010, apparently. This week we're even. Well, that's not true because I don't know what the hell this is. This big, huge red wick. Well, it's a green wick, but I guess because overall it ended up down. But so you could have had a gain of 190% if you bought like down here somewhere and sold at the top of this wick in September of 2010. But even disregarding that, if you bought here and sold here, you would have had a gain of 8%, even in this very sideways trading market. So those are all the Septembers in Bitcoin's history. So not necessarily the picture that everybody's painting. September is not necessarily a boring month. And you can't just look at an asset and say, oh, this month is going to be like this, or the market in general, this month is this and that month is that. How boring would that be if people just, oh, I'm gonna buy in February and sell in April every year, and that's gonna be my strategy. It's very, very boring. So let's see where we are at currently. Oh, we're doing something green, so that's good. We're making a nice little green. We're on the hourly chart here. A nice little green candle there. We're starting off in our little kind of choppy, just sideways, sideways, sideways here. But what's interesting, we do have an upside down Bart Simpson forming, right? That's what I'm seeing. I'm just waiting for this just to pump right back up to where we were. But everybody's being so negative, and I don't know. Just hearing negative stuff all the time. We got a lot of lines there. But yeah, not really much else to say. Just like the previous video, though. So we got these dashed lines here. This is the daily Gaussian channel. These lines represent the daily Gaussian channel. We when we come down this far out of it, we come right back up into it. It's pretty. You can pretty much count on that. So I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm just there's got to be a move up here coming any minute now. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's look at the total three, just in general, doing the same thing. And here too, we are on the. We're just entering, right? The daily Gaussian. Yeah, those three green lines represent the daily Gaussian channel, so that I can see it like on the hourly chart and what have you, without. Yeah, because it's the daily. I'd have to go to a daily chart every time. Um, so we are trying to hold. We are just right here along the bottom of it, going in and out, trying to hold it as support. And once we do, again, we'll shoot up through it. So I do believe that any day or week here, pretty soon, very shortly, we will be heading up. So I think this month, this September, is gonna, add to help help make the outlook of September's a little bit better overall. Okay, so say you have, I don't know what the number is there. Maybe you were counting how many down Septembers and up Septembers we had, but it's got to average out overall. If we got 8 down and 3 up or whatever, we're due for another up one, right? All right, so just wanted to give everybody a little hopium and at least do a little bit of analysis rather than just looking at a monthly chart of red months and green months, which is what most everybody else is doing. We don't do what everybody else is doing here. I try to do things differently and show you things that nobody else is showing. All right, or look at things from a different perspective at least. All right, so like, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.